Hill Stakes has been a really outstanding race. Thought stay at that stage, but he stayed a bit better. Thought his connection. So we come to the Hill Stakes, and what's its connection with the Cox Plate? Well, 10 horses have done the double, but the last one was back in 96. Saintly absolutely trotted in. He went to a Metrop and we thought, stay at that stage, but he stayed a bit better in the Cox Plate, and then, of course, the Melbourne Cup. But he was the last of the 10 to win. It's been an interesting race. The 103rd running, there are 15 Hall of Famers, including Baguette, who was into the Hall of Fame last year. It is a bit of a who's who. Over the years, this Hill Stakes has been a really outstanding race. Tim Clark's had a good day already. Today he's on one of the favourites here, and Lizzie's with him.
Royal Patronage has been dynamic since he arrived here in Australia. Tim Clark partners up with him once again in the Hill Stakes. What were your thoughts on his run in the Epsom?
Yeah, I obviously thought he ran really well. Obviously would have liked to win it, but I thought his effort, though, was still very brave. He had a wide barrier he had to overcome, and I thought he fought out the finish really good. So I think the way he raced, he will appreciate stepping out to 1900. He hasn't obviously been past a mile since he's been in Australia, but he gives all indications that the 1900 will be ideal.
Yeah, very tough horse. You can't draw a gate on him, though.
No, he's drawn awkward again, and I'm sure there'll be a little bit of pressure underneath him again, but he obviously first up and then in the Epsom he showed really good tactical speed. So if he begins like that, he should be able to overcome that barrier quite quickly. Looking
forward to next week, Caulfield Cup Day, Everest Day as well. You were offered a ride in the Everest, but you've elected to go and ride Elias, the second favourite in the Caulfield Cup. That must give us a good indication on his chances. Yeah, look, obviously a horse I've had obviously hasn't been in Australia long, but the short time he's been in Australia, he's done some really good things, and I've had a good association with him, and yeah, really looking forward to going down to Caulfield and teaming up with him again, and hopefully we can take out the Caulfield Cup. But obviously a decision that wasn't taken lightly, but happy with the decision I've made, and looking forward to getting on Elias next week. Good luck today, and I'll see you at Caulfield next week. Thank you.
Oh, I thought, interestingly, Bo Mertens, he's up in Sydney today to ride Attrition, who won his first Group 1 on this horse last year. Interestingly, I thought, Lizzie, they've applied a tongue-tie to him today. I don't know whether that's an indication of maybe the horse maturing or maybe developing some sort of wind issue, or it's interesting though. Yeah, it's definitely something to take into consideration, and $2 million on offer for Attrition and a number of runners in this field. We've seen Pericles, he's stepped out a number of times in Melbourne. He's been racing really consistently. We saw him win the So You Think in big style, and then he ran in the Underwood last time out, beaten by one horse that is the most improved, I would suggest, in Buckaroo. Royal Patronage, well, he won an Epsom, you've won an Epsom. Sorry, he didn't win an Epsom, he ran in an Epsom, you've won an Epsom. Can he win today? Look, I think he can win this race today. I think he looks in fantastic order. When you see him here in the yard, he's probably, I'd say, the pick of the mountain yard today. Having a look at the form reference leading into this Hill Stakes, Attrition, we mentioned him, comes out of the Fian. We've seen him step out a couple of times so far this preparation, running second first up, and then ran down the track last in the middle of his prep in the So You Think Stakes. Bo Mertens, Mitch Friedman elected to bring him up here for this race, applied the tongue tie as you mentioned, and hopefully they can get the very best out of him. Kovalika, he's drawn soft, and Zach's going to just have a lovely run on this horse, and I'd say he's going to be probably a really good each-way chance in this race. Another one who comes out of the Epsom handicap where he didn't have a massive amount of luck on that occasion. Nonconformist from the Graham Beggs stable, ran first up in the Chelmsford. Have you ridden for Graham before? No, actually. I haven't ridden for Graham. I'm good friends with Graham and his wife, and we go a long way back, and beat his horse in my first Group 1 win, but
that's why he hasn't given you a ride again.
I'd say so.
Having a look at Golden Path, he comes out of a different form reference, the Kingston Town, which I think is probably the strongest form reference out of all of them. We saw Chairwolf come out of the race, Land Legend as well, and also Alias, who we know is second favourite for a Caulfield Cup. He's had that tough run over the 2,000 metres, and now he's back slightly in trip. New Endeavour from the Waterhouse and Bott stable, they're having a terrific day.
Absolutely, and he's tough as ever. And you could never discount this horse.
He is certainly tough. Adam Hieronymus adopting those front-running tactics you would imagine from Barrier 9, and we just saw them win the last race with a node. Taking a look at Navajo Peak, I was looking at him wandering around the yard, and look, he can bob up on occasions, Kath. He's pretty fresh and full of himself, and Kieran McAvoy's already had a good day drawing the inside gate.
Yes, and David Payne, trains on track here, so I think this horse is probably underrated.
Stockman, he's been around a lot, 8-year-old now. He's a very relaxed individual. He would prefer a wet track.
I'd say so. I think this track is probably a little on the firm side for him, but I think he's got not a bad record over the distance here.
Yeah, and Rhys Jones partners up with Joe Pride. A market, please.
Sox, why not? The Sox stable is back for spring. The stable features racing royalty, including Hill Stakes previous winner Very Elegant. We've got Bella Nipotina, Pride of Jenny, plenty of fan favourites there. Scan the QR code on screen to purchase your pair, and 100% of TAB's profits will be donated to support equine welfare.
Terrific stuff, yeah. Kath's getting a pair of these socks after today from Benway. I'm confirm he's wearing the Nature Strip socks, and they are from Wednesday, so I hope he has washed them. Pick of the yard time, I'm with Pericles on top. I think that he's going well, but again, he's one of those horses that needs to get the right run in transit. He looks $1 million in the yard. If I was to pick a horse on form, I thought Golden Path was the value play in this race. He's got that run over 2,000 last time out. He's the fresh legs on the scene. We've got to see Royal Patronage and Kovalika back up in this race. So I think that would be my only question mark. Market mover, Ben?
We'll go with nonconformists. Now, there are other gallopers that have marginally more money on, but given that's the worst result from Tab's end, and it is a firmer into $11, we'll go that way. One at a price, nonconformist.
The double figure odds there, Bruce. What are your thoughts on the $2 million Hill Stakes?
It's a lot of money. That's my first thoughts, Lizzie. Nash versus Tim versus Zach versus Chad. That's how I see it. The ride will be so important. I don't think there's anything between the four of them, and the market suggests that. So how do those back up from the Epsom, and how does Golden Path handle this? I think he would have preferred a slightly wetter track Golden Path.
It's not often that I agree with Ben Way here, but I am going with nonconformist as well. And big shout out to the Henwood family, of course, raced the mare Good Thinking and bred nonconformist, and he's just been a great horse for them, earning over $2 million of prize money. And I think he will be running really well today.
I've had a 2-bet strategy here. He's my roughie in the race, nonconformist. I think he'll run superbly today, but I had to have something on Royal Patronage because his run in the Epsom, I thought, Bruce, was superb because he had a top weight, he had a wide barrier, they put him on speed. Kovalika got off his back. Sure, Kovalika was held up a couple of occasions, but then on the last 50 metres he kicked back and defeated Kovalika. I think he's brave and suited at weight for age. I think he gets his chance.
Well, speaking of Gay, of course, she's got a couple of runners in the Caulfield Guineas coming up, and here she is at Caulfield today, guys. So Gay here, as she so often is at the races in Melbourne on these big days. Adrian does the work in Sydney and Gay here. So, Lizzie, it's a big half an hour for the stable. You spoke to Adrian a moment ago and he was just hoping like crazy that a no could win. I just might hold it for a sec, Lizzie, because broadsiding, what are we, about 20 minutes away from him, and he will come out and lead the field for... And there he is, Lizzie. You're a fair way away, I know, at the moment, but I'm looking at it on the screen just like you.
Look, Bruce, he's a horse that is probably not overly big and strong and powerful, but he's a complete athlete. We saw him in the yard on Golden Rose Day, and he was a slightly fresh and full of himself, but he looks completely professional there. I'm very excited to see what he's going to be able to do. He's got a bit against him as well with the way the track's playing at the moment and what tactics is everyone going to adopt, but he's a class individual. Quickly, Kath, your final thoughts. Are you with any of the Waller runners?
I think this race is about the jockeys. The horses are quite evenly matched through this field, and I think this is a tactical race for the riders, and I think the best ride will win this race.
What will be the best ride?
Well,
Kovalika, there you go. We got something out of her. Here they are, the $2 million Hill Stakes over the 1900. Here's Darren.
And we'll see how it pans out. There's the light. First leg of today's quaddie with a good jackpot. Ready to go. Gates cling back, they're off and racing now, and Golden Path in the middle was one of the best into stride. New Endeavour sent forward, as well as Royal Patronage and Attrition wide out, and Pericles is looking for a spot towards the rails so they find their positions. They're non-conformist, Navajo Peak, Kavalika, and last of all is Stockman. So Royal Patronage surges forward, and Royal Patronage takes the lead clearly now from New Endeavour. There with the yellow cap was happy to hand up, and now Attrition darts up on the outside, and Attrition goes to a clear second. New Endeavour third, Golden Path fourth, and then came Pericles fifth on the rails from Non-Conformist. A length into Navajo Peak, Kovalika and Stockman last about 9 off the lead. 1,200 metres to go, and Royal Patronage is going to make it a true staying affair here in the Hill Stakes, and races 3 lengths clear to Attrition. A length and a half into New Endeavour, and Golden Path next to the outside, followed by Pericles, is buried down on the fence by Non-Conformist. Then Navajo Peak from Kovalika, length and a half to the outsider of the field, Stockman, as they lead the back and run down the side, and Royal Patronage keeping up the strong gallop in the lead. In the hands of Tim Clark, leads by 4 lengths at the 800 from Attrition, then New Endeavour. Golden Path pretty well positioned, then came Pericles. 3/4 further back to Non-Conformist. Navajo Peak, Kovalika still second last, and Stockman is the rear ender. Coming inside the 550 metres now, and Royal Patronage leads by a length now, and Attrition getting closer. Then New Endeavour back on the inside. Golden Path being shoved along. Pericles working into the clear from Non-Conformist. Kovalika down the outside. They've got 300 metres to go. Royal Patronage and Attrition on the outside. Running on well, New Endeavour. Now Kovalika hitting top gear wide out as Attrition takes the lead. Attrition a length and a half clear from Kovalika running on. It's Attrition in front of Kovalika. Attrition hanging on from Kovalika, and Attrition won the Hill Stakes. Wanted a neck on the line to Kovalika. A gap back to Royal Patronage third. Then came Pericles, Non-Conformist, Golden Path, New Endeavour, Navajo Peak, and Stockman was last to finish.
Oh, Kathy, don't you love these stories? I mean, he won the Toorak last year on this day, got the Group 1 for Bo Merton's Mitch Freedman, goes up there for the ride today. It's worth twice as much dough, and it was a good ride because he was the first to put the pressure on Royal Patronage, and he stayed strong, didn't he, on the line?
Exactly right. I thought a good ride would win this race, and it definitely has. And obviously the application of the tongue tie has made the difference for this horse, and they've got the best out of him this afternoon. So top effort from all involved.
And Kovalika, he's been so close so often, hasn't he, Kathy? He just can't get that win. I thought Royal Patronage was pretty good, and Pericles had his chance.
Yeah, it was agonisingly close. I thought he was going to be able to get past the other horse who was starting to get a little bit tired, but I think they both literally peaked at the same time. So another painful second for Kovalika, but still a good run nevertheless.
I'm absolutely stoked for Bo Mertens. He's a really he's just a good person and a great jockey. And you know, as an apprentice, he was winning all the premierships and not far away from the main premiership. And he's sort of taken a couple of years lull coming out of his time, which can happen. And winning his first Group 1 on this horse last year, and then winning a big Hill Stakes at Rosehill Gardens today. It's I'm just so thrilled for him, Bruce.
No, it's a big win. I mean, he's now won a Toorak. He's won this race. He's won a lot of money now. I mean, this takes him over a couple of $1 million. Second, third, fourth, they're good horses. And he's been able to handle them today, albeit narrowly. But he did the work and then was exposed in front of Fairway Out. But that tongue hanging out on the side. Kovalika good. He's frustrating. He's run oh so well. But it's been a good performance. And let's go to Lizzie now.
Oh, well done, Mitch. You pulled the right rein. How good is it to have him back in the winner's stall?
Oh, it's fantastic. I think he was just a bit sick of chasing. He's a 5-year-old stallion now, and I think he was just a bit sick of chasing and those faster tempos. He was just sick of it all. So we just wanted to flow forward today. We wanted to do that last start, but I think it was just going to be all too much to him. We've always thought further than the mile was going to be his better trips, but he'd been a bit too weak to get there yet. So we bided our time. We've stuck it to him going into the fair and at home with the work, and then we've just been able to train him just really nicely going into this run. And well done to Bo. He followed him up here, and it's been great to get the result.
You're in Sydney, hometown of Chris Waller, at his home track. and you've got one of his runners chasing you down in a $2 million race. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I was wanting for that post to come up, but look, Chris probably wins enough races, so let the little guy win one. And well done to Cole McKenna. He's got a good chance later on today to go back-to-back in the Toorak. Good to see this horse fire on the same day. Congratulations to all the owners. We shared the flight up with them, and it was a great effort. The team around me do a super job. This horse doesn't miss out on anything. He gets A1 care as well as the rest of them do, and we're just happy to come up here and join in the party.
Will the kids be watching?
They definitely will be. They had their nephew's birthday party this afternoon, so we did the little trade-off at the airport at Avalon with my mum, and they're having a great day there, and I'm sure they'll be cheering, and little George will probably have the colours on.
Well, congratulations. You deserve the victory.
Thank you very much.
It does feel like a Group 1, doesn't it? The Group 2 Hill Stakes. $2 million in prize money, those colours to be carried by another Will in the Toorak today, so the McKenna colours. So a great result by all and sundry. So we get to the jewel and the crown, the next race on the program on this fantastic day of racing from 2 states. Broadsiding, Angel Capital. Could he do something for the McDonald family? And could Gay and Adrian win a Caulfield Guineas for the first time? They've got a couple of chances, including Mayfair.